Daredevil as a character in comics has undergone so many changes and reinventions over the years. Today I'm starting a 5-part series wherein I talk about 5 influential runs that all added to the character of Matt Murdock. Miller, Nocenti, Bendis, Brubaker, and Wade. These 5 authors will each receive an in-depth video detailing their runs and what each added to the character of Daredevil, by trialing him and by expanding his world and viewpoints. This series will not be in publication order, but once it's complete I'll create a playlist with said order for ease of understanding. I'm starting this series with what I consider to be an underrated and incredible run in Daredevil's history, and that is of author Ed Brubaker and artist Michael Lark's take on the horn-headed hero. If you wish to read the storyline, beware, as there are a few spoilers, but I'll link the books in the description. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Brubaker and Lark joined the Daredevil title in February 2006, starting with issue 82 and concluded his run on the book after nearly 4 years with issue 120, which had taken its original numbering of issue 500. The creative duo joined the book immediately after Brian Michael Bendis concluded his run on a cliffhanger with Murdock being arrested by the FBI and put into federal prison. From the beginning of their run through to the shocking cliffhanger ending, Brubaker and Lark craft a unique story about Murdock that, when all is said and done, relies heavily on his personal connections and how they can be the assistance Matt needs, or a weapon used against him. In this video I'll be discussing the effect that 3 enemies in the run have on Matt and how it leads into the finale of the book, starting with Vanessa Fisk. When the run begins, there is a Daredevil imposter roaming Hell's Kitchen while Matt is imprisoned and left helpless to defend his best friend Foggy Nelson from being shanked on the way out of visitation. This supposed murder of his best friend, leaves Matt angry and spiteful towards every criminal in the prison, causing him to violently assault foes like the Owl and Hammerhead. It's only when the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, explains to Matt that they're both being manipulated into killing each other does Matt formulate an escape plan utilizing the Punisher, who purposely got himself arrested to talk some sense into an increasingly rage-blinded Matt. Once he escapes, Matt finds the imposter and deduces his identity to be none other than Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist. The pair team up with investigative journalist Ben Urich and PI Dakota North, and deduce that whoever killed Foggy and set up Danny has gone to Europe. It's here that Vanessa Fisk attacks Matt again through Lily Luca. Lily immediately strikes Matt due to her familiarity, and he realizes she smells exactly like his lost love, Karen Page. When Lily is kidnapped, Matt vows to save her until he discovers that she's working for the person who killed Foggy. This enrages Matt further, and once Matt defeats Tombstone and the new Matador, he learns of Vanessa Fisk and her hand in everything that has occurred. Vanessa reveals she's dying, and that she did what she did to Matt as vengeance for the cycle Daredevil and the Kingpin continue to find themselves in, ruining her life. She then tells Matt that her deal for him is that she will remove the FBI's investigation into Matt as Daredevil in exchange for Murdock using his legal abilities to get Kingpin out of prison. If he refuses, Vanessa will give photographic evidence that Matt is Daredevil to the FBI. Matt is enraged by her deception with Karen's scent, and a proposal of an ultimatum, to which Vanessa reveals the scent wasn't of Karen Page, but of any man's fondest memory, revealing that he still loves Karen. Matt then denies Vanessa the satisfaction of making any deals, and leaves her to die, only for Vanessa to reveal her plan has already worked, and Matt is cleared of all charges. Vanessa's death compels Matt to free Wilson with the condition he leaves New York to honor Vanessa. It's at the tail end of this story that Foggy returns from his stint in witness protection, and Matt finally has his life back together for a moment. That is, until it's revealed that the potion Lily took to produce the pheromones that tricked Matt were supplied to Vanessa by another villain. They were supplied by Mr. Fear. With Matt returning to Hell's Kitchen, he notices that criminals are acting more erratically, driven to commit more crimes and, if caught, commit suicide. While this is happening and Matt's investigation deepens, it is revealed Matt's wife, Miller Donovan, is going to therapy to deal with Matt's frequent absences as Daredevil. This strain on their relationship is deepened when Lily Luca returns, having fallen in love with Matt and supposedly requiring his help. Matt forwards her to Dakota as Lily's pheromones can't affect women, but Miller is enraged that Matt bothers helping her after what she did to him. Before Matt can salvage anything or defend himself, Melvin Potter, the gladiator who has seemingly lost his mind and returned to his violent and murderous ways, attacks. The gladiator beats Matt, and then a day later lures him to a warehouse where Mr. Fear uses hallucinogenic gas to keep Matt frozen, while he reveals that he's the therapist his wife's been seeing. At that very moment, Miller snaps and pushes Lily on a tram platform, causing an innocent man to be pushed in front of an oncoming train. This is where Matt's connections are brought to the forefront, as he is thrown onto the street, wounded and hallucinating. Each hallucination is accompanied with a change in artistry that perfectly captures Matt's relationships to the hallucination. He initially sees his enemies in an overly read and detailed style, courtesy of Marko Djurdjevic, which fits the aggressive style with which Matt dispatches them. When he comes to and realizes he's been beating police, Matt retreats to an alley where he is met with Karen Page, drawn by John Romita Sr. This sequence is drawn in the classic 60s style, calling back to a more innocent time in Matt's life and a time when he was truly happy. The next sequence is drawn by Gene Colan, where Matt remembers his life in San Francisco and dating the Black Widow. This sequence is the beginning of an intense haze that overwhelms Matt, and that continues onto the pages drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz. These pages are reminiscing of oil paintings and thick haze which surrounds the panels focusing on Elektra. This shows Matt's intense pain surrounding Elektra and how he felt he failed her by letting her die. Matt then falls to his wife and the day they met. This is fittingly drawn by Alex Maleev, who created Miller with Brian Michael Bendis. Matt then transitions briefly to the real world where he is attacked by thugs before he falls to his last hallucination. The stem of Matt's guilt and regret, his only family, Matt's father. And this sequence, expertly handled by Lee Behemo, as he shows Matt's father facing him in the ring, and the level of detail in both fighters makes the entire scene feel that much more real. The colouring, by Matt Hollingworth, perfectly captures the golden era days gone by feeling of the fight, and once Matt survives the ordeal, he is ready to fight Mr. Fear again. Each hallucination teaches Matt something important about love and how loving is fear. This causes Matt to doubt his title as the man without fear, right up until his father reminds him that he can't be a man without fear if he lets people in, but he can't be a man if he doesn't. This makes the moment Matt learns of Miller's insanity that much more painful, because Matt has failed to protect his wife, and no matter what happens, even after he defeats Mr. Fear, who admits he did all this just because he doesn't like Matt, he cannot save Miller. This leaves Matt defeated, broken, and ready to be taken by the Hand. The second half of Brubaker's run is dedicated to the Hand breaking Matt down and taking away everything he has. The first instance of this isn't the Hand at all, it's the institution holding Miller. They deny Matt visitation rights as they believe he is causing her manic episodes. Matt is angry about losing Miller, but dives back into a conspiracy case involving Mr. Slaughter, and then thanks Dakota for bringing him back. After this, Carlos, a former criminal known as the Black Tarantula, also visits Matt, and tells him he's trying to be a better man. Not a hero, but a force for good on his streets, and someone Matt can trust as a friend. This is hot on the heels of Matt and Foggy rebranding Nelson and Murdoch as a referral-only law firm, a place that cannot be accessed by the public and has to be found through other, less conventional means in order to avoid Daredevil's constant fights with the criminals of New York City. Immediately after establishing this, Brubaker introduces Lady Bullseye, a fanatic of her namesake working for the Hand. She appears at first as an assassin who sets up Daredevil for murder, while Matt has an affair with Dakota. The next morning, Matt feels incredibly guilty and allows himself to be arrested by the police, as Carlos and Danny are attacked by the Hand. Carlos then goes to Murdoch's house and is beaten and restrained by Master Izzo, a blind warrior who seeks to destroy the Hand with Matt's help. Before Matt can become invested in this plan, however, Miller is removed from the mental institution and put into custody of her parents. Matt fights this in a meeting with her parents, who are being represented by Lady Bullseye's civilian disguise, Maki Matsumoto. While Matt is in this meeting, Carlos and the White Tiger, Angela Del Toro, are possessed by the Hand. Wilson Fisk then returns to New York after Lady Bullseye murders the family Wilson has grown attached to, and Matt and Fisk agree to stop the Hand. This agreement pushes Foggy to the point that he fires Matt. This leaves Matt without his best friend, his law firm, his wife, or his friends. It's at this point that Matt dedicates himself to the mission, but not before crippling the Owl. This run ends with Matt, his friends, Izzo, Fisk, and Lady Bullseye attacking the Hand. When Fisk attempts to become their leader, Matt agrees to leading the Hand instead, and concludes this saga by traveling into the trials of the Hand in order to become their leader. Edward Brubaker and Michael Lark's take on Daredevil gave some of the grandest mysteries and plot twists the series has ever seen. But as I stated, it's a series about the joys and pains of connection and what can happen to a person if their guilt and actions accidentally inflict more pain than joy. This run showcases how one friend can seriously impact our decision making, how hard it can be to watch someone you love suffer through something you can't help them with, and how a few mistakes can utterly destroy someone. But this isn't the end of Matt Murdock's story. Not by a long shot.